A hot tip for all you aspiring chefs out there. Don't get into cooking for emperors. Sure, it might seem like an exciting career opportunity at first, whipping up tasty dishes for royalty and getting a front row seat to all those fancy parades. But there's a reason you've never heard of an imperial chef. It's because the position comes with one very unfortunate perk. You might end up dead. Meet Shi Chong, an official food taster for the Chinese emperor. Shi Chong's job was simple: to make sure the emperor's food was both safe and delicious. If he found something he didn't like, he could have the cook put to death. One time he ordered a duck and was so disgusted by its unpleasant flavor that the chef got the executioner S-chop. Yeah, that's right. In ancient China, if you made the emperor a bad meal, you got the chop. These days, we think of food tasters as people who make sure the president isn't poisoned, which is a pretty big deal. And yeah, that was part of Shi Chong's job too. But his main duty was to sample the emperor's food and make sure it tasted good. And he had the authority to have any cook put to death if he deemed their food unworthy. That's a lot of power for someone with no culinary school training. Just imagine if your boss could fire you just because he didn't like the way your casserole tasted. You'd probably quit faster than you could say. The position of official taster came with its perks, though. Not only did Shi Chong get to eat some of the most exquisite foods in the empire, but he also got to sleep in a fancy palace and wear fancy clothes. Plus, he knew he was helping to keep the whole damn dynasty alive. You know, if the emperor ate bad food, he might have a bad day and then forget to take care of important business, like, not getting murdered. But the job was definitely not for the faint of heart. If Shi Chong wasn't careful, he could end up tasting his last meal. One slip of the chopsticks and he might ingest something that would kill him. So why would anyone want to be an official food taster? Well, for one thing, it was considered a great honor to be chosen for the job. After all, it meant the emperor trusted him with his life. Plus, the job paid pretty well. Shi Chong's salary was higher than most officials, and he also got all the food he could eat. Still, it was a risky profession. At least 18 official tasters died on the job during the Han Dynasty alone. And it wasn't always an easy job either. One time Shi Chong was tasting the emperor as peaches and got so pissed at a cook that he started throwing fruit. He didn't like having to taste other people's leftovers, and he hated when the food wasn't properly prepared. Like once he found a fly in his soup and threw a tantrum, which ended with the cook getting executed and Shi Chong getting a new batch of soup. Shi Chong's position became even more important when the emperor went on tour. When the emperor traveled, he needed to eat well to stay healthy. But the kitchens that prepared his food were often dirty and the ingredients weren't always fresh. So Shi Chong and his team of tasters had to be especially careful when the emperor was on the road. They were responsible for finding the best ingredients and making sure the cooks prepared them properly. If anything went wrong, it could be disastrous. And no one wanted to risk the emperor eating bad food while he was in a bad mood. So how did Shi Chong deal with the pressure? Well, he took his job very seriously. He was a teetotaler who never gambled or had fun. He was so dedicated to his work that he even turned down an opportunity to become the Emperor Zuna, which may sound like a huge career move, but considering what happens to eunuchs in ancient Chinese palaces, we're gonna say no thanks. Now you know why nobody remembers the name of the imperial chef. The risk was just too great. You can't run a kitchen if you're constantly worried about getting the chop. So count your blessings. You never ended up working for a picky eater with a taste for extra protein. For more tasty historical tales each week. Stay tuned. Ah, now with your tongue. Did you learn nothing?